Hi, everyone. I am back and I am with Patricia Bourgeois, and we are going to talk about empowering female women and female entrepreneurs and to take our power back and to thrive. So welcome to the show, Anna. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me about what you do a little bit. What do you do with these women entrepreneurs?
What I do. I love it. So I help ambitious women entrepreneurs double their sales, increase their revenue without spending more money on ads and marketing. Pretty much everything is organic on social media. I really help them, step into their power, reclaim their truth, share their stories, be vulnerable online to truly impact the people they're here to impact. And that's one thing that I hear a lot is a lot of women want to make a difference in the world. They just don't know how to market themselves, how to sell their services. It's a very big thing that holds a lot of people back. So that's what I help them do.
Yeah, I think, having them increase their confidence and feel like they can be their authentic self.
Yes.
And I know that you're intuitive as well. And I'm sure that you probably tap into that for people or help them tap into their own intuitive greatness.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I do get some downloads. It's like a knowing. It's like a knowing. When I talk to someone and I'm coaching them, like I know when something's not right. I know if we should shift or pivot or go in this direction instead or try this instead. It's just like an inner knowing. And I show my clients how to also tap into that inner knowing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that inner knowing is the big beacon of guidance that we all need to have so that we can go down the path of I always call it the path of least resistance, over the water, over the rock path, as opposed to being the one that we're fighting our way upstream the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me a little bit about your background. How did you get into this career, and how long have you been doing it, and why are you here helping women?
I love that question. And I love to go back in my childhood. When I was 15, my parents actually got divorced. My father left, and I was really forced to grow up really quickly and take on a lot of responsibilities very quickly. And I had to get 2 part-time jobs, go to school full-time, support my mom with the bills, with anything she needed. I had to help with my little brother at the time for his homework and cooking and doing all the things, right? And then I saw that and I was like, there's for sure a better way, right? Because my mom was in that 9 to 5 rat race and we never had enough. Like it's like, how do I make ends meet? Like, how do I, pay for all of this stuff? And you could tell she wasn't passionate about what she was doing either. So it's like, I made a promise to myself. I was like, I'm going to find something that I love to do, and I'm going to get paid very well to do it. And obviously I had no idea what that was going to look like back then. But then I went to university. I got my degree in communications. I did an internship in a digital marketing agency. That's where I learned everything about social media and content, video, photo, editing, client work, all of the jazz. And I love that. I love that environment. It was very like something that spoke to me. So that's when I decided to start my first business, which was my own agency and helping my clients with their social media. But then I noticed as I went along that the client work itself is what truly made me like passionate, like talking to my clients and hearing their questions and helping them move through some issues and really seeing the fruits of my labor and like seeing the happiness on their face was what truly brought me that happiness. And I was like, how can I help more women, get to their goals, get to their vision? And one day I was on Google and I Googled like, how can I help people? And like this coaching school pop up. Like I had never heard of coaching before. And I read their website. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is for me. It was like a health life coaching certification. Okay. And it was a big investment at the time. And I was like, I gotta do this. Like I had this inner knowing.
Back to that.
Yeah. I followed it and I invested in that and I got certified. And then from there, I switched niches a few times, trying to find my foot. But then I landed on the business niche. And since then, that was in 2019. I went full time in my coaching in 2020, like in the middle of the pandemic. I had no idea what I was doing, no clue if it was gonna work out. Yeah. I just really, gave it my all. And then 3 months later in September, I had my first 10K launch. And then from there, it just all went on. And I was just like, wow, this is what happens when you bet on yourself, when you go all in, when you take the risks, when you invest in yourself over and over and over again. And I think the most successful people in life are the ones who had those lessons, those failures, as they say it. I don't like to call it that because everything is a lesson. You always learn and you improve and get better. But those are the people who aren't afraid, to get there. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's my story.
Yeah, you keep trying and trying. So what was one of the pitfalls that you experienced during the journey? Well, first off, hold on, I have to back up. I was also a communication major. Love that.
Oh, awesome.
Radio, television, not digital marketing, because I was in there before that.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that you got into a college, into a program that fit you, that was good for what you do. And that's really a blessing, because I think a lot of times we go to college and it's not the fit. So your intuition led you to the right place, as did mine. Although I did audio, I should have been in television. Neither here nor there. Either way, I love communications myself. So, okay, just had to say that. So back off, because we're kindred spirits here. So you followed your intuition, and I know my question was, did you start in your coaching during the pandemic, or was that like during the pandemic you decided to jump into the coaching class, or had you done that right before it hit?
Right before it hit, I got certified November 2019, and I hired my first coach December 2019. And then January, February, March, April, like I had hired more coaches and get more help. And I was doing all the right things. And this is something I want to share too. Like it took me 6 months to get my first client. Like it wasn't like overnight, right?
It never is.
Yeah. But as soon as I did get that client, I was like, if I did this once, I could do it again and again and again. Like I knew exactly what to do now that I saw that it worked. And it actually gave me that extra push to actually keep going and go all in.
Yeah, it sounds like the timing was perfect. And I shouldn't have said it never is. We do get instant clients. So I back up and I take that back. Edit that out of there, right? We can get our first client instantly. But I know that when we really, really work on it and that first person comes through, and it has been a while, it does allow us to duplicate the process, which it sounds like what you did. You're like, okay, I can systematize this, I can duplicate this, and it can happen again and again and again.
Yeah. Exactly.
But wow, so you truly are intuitive. I have to back up and say, did you have something in your childhood besides, the split of your parents that really helped you heighten your intuitive nature?
It's so funny you asked that, because when I was younger, I used to see and hear the spirits. Obviously, I lost it as I got older, but I remember very vividly like seeing them. Like one time I was like at a friend's house and I saw one so clearly, it spooked me. I was like, holy moly, like what's going on? But yeah, I did have those abilities when I was younger to see them and hear them. But yeah, like I kind of forgot about it as I got older, but like I knew that intuition was still there.
Yeah, I think that most kids, 3 and 4 year olds see, not to get woo-woo, I think they see spirits all the time.
Yes.
I know that my husband's brother totally described his great grandfather to the letter.
Yes.
and explained who he was and, you know, what he looked like. And he had never seen a picture of him. So, but then we forget and it falls away. But those, you know, those of us like yourself who are blessed to then rekindle and, you know, grow it back again. I think we're all intuitive. We're all connected. You know, we're all interconnected. So it is possible that we can all have the intuition out there. Okay. So we got way sidetracked on that, but I had to bring that up and talk about that just a little bit. So with your people, how do they do it if they're on social media and, you know, they don't have a big advertising or marketing budget? What do you recommend for them to do as their first step?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the first step is the foundations. Like, we gotta make sure we understand who we're talking to, how we're helping them, what are the problems we're solving, right? And truly get to know and understand that our gifts are powerful. Like, because I think that's the biggest mindset thing that we all go through. It's like, can I really help this person? Like, am I qualified? Like, we all go through these stages of like imposter syndrome and like perfectionism. But at the beginning stages, it's really about owning your gifts, understanding that you're amazing, that your background is huge, and maybe you never had a client in this area before, but I guarantee you've helped people along the way. You know, like, no matter how small, you've made a difference in someone's life. And you got to trust that you can do that same difference over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really that mindset piece, that foundational piece, and creating your offers, right? What is it going to look like? Is it one-on-one coaching? Is it group programs? Is it a mastermind? Like, what do you want to sell? What are the price you're going to put in? Creating your branding, how you're going to show up, those strategies. So it's like a lot of different pieces, but the first thing is the foundations, for sure.
Yeah, the foundation. And do you think that oftentimes I've been toying with this for the past year or so, avatars, you know, I've studied creating your avatar forever, you know, for a couple decades now. And I seriously think that my avatar is me. And I don't know if you found a similar thing, that, you know, your ideal avatar is who you are, really. Do you agree with that, or do you? No,
Yes. To a certain degree, I do agree with it. Because I feel like we are probably 5-10 steps ahead of our ideal clients. Like, we've been where they're going now, so we understand where they've been, what are their challenges, and all of that. So yes, it could definitely be you like 2 years ago or 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
But also, I don't want you to limit yourself to only that, because I've worked with clients, you know, who were way ahead of me as well, you know, and you can still make a difference, even if that person is way ahead in one area, but they need help in a certain area as well, right? So it's like, don't limit yourself to only that. Also think about the other person or people who are going through a similar journey, but need maybe help in one specific thing.
Right. Yeah. On the same path, that we're all like this, you know, we're all like, okay, like that. Oh, and that's the beauty of, actually, that's the beauty of life. And that's the beauty of coaching, is to be able to see what others can't see more clearly. And quite honestly, you know, we can't see our own muck half the time anyhow, but if we have someone who can just bring it right back to us, you know, in a real way, we're like, oh, never thought about that way. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I totally am with you on that. So as far as advice goes, have you received any piece of advice that was really helpful to you, that kind of sticks in your brain all the time if you're up against something?
I love that. There's so many, but I think the biggest one, know your numbers. I know it's simple, but honestly, so many women entrepreneurs are focusing on the quick wins, the instant gratification, the big cash injections, like, how can I make the most money the most quickly ever? And like, they're desperate to get like those big launches. but like, do you actually know what your gross profit margins are? Do you know like your average conversion rates? Do you know if you're profitable right now? Like, do you know your numbers? Like, so you can easily work on improving specific areas, and you know exactly if you can afford to hire help, hire a team member, invest in your next coach without burning yourself out to the ground and creating extra stress in your life that, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't have done this. Like I don't have enough capital. So important.
Yeah, know your numbers. So give me the four numbers, and we're going to explain this to the people. What are the four numbers that they really need to look at? What are the bottom lines? You said conversion. What does that mean to the listeners here?
Yeah, so we have leads, right? So we got to look at how many are we converting into clients. So when you know that number, you're going to know exactly how many people you have to talk to, or how many calls you have to set, or how many conversations in the DMs you need to have. Because if you know that, then you can replicate it easily, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, what's the next stat that they need to have in their brain?
Yeah, so I feel like the next step is, yes, you're getting those revenue in, but after taxes, after expenses, what's the revenue that you still have in your pocket? Right?
Good to know. And most people don't even know that. I'm with you. Yeah. Like, exactly. What's the bottom line?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta know. And honestly, like when I started implementing this and understanding this, it's so much more easier to make business decisions, that serves you.
Well, so, you know whether you have the money or not, or whether you can spend the money or not. Yeah, absolutely. What's another stat that they need to know? Have their finger on the pulse, so to speak. We got conversions, we got bottom line.
Yeah, we have revenue, gross profit, and we have also knowing your COGS, right? If you have overhead, like where can you cut costs? And for those listening, COGS is cost of goods sold. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just being clear for these people. So I love COGS, but you have to kind of know what that means. So how much does it cost you to do a specific product or whatever?
Exactly. Usually when you're a service provider, you don't have as many as someone who's selling a product, but it's still good to know, like, oh, I can save money on this, I can do that. So
well, it grows too. I mean, you've got your domains, you've got your website, you've got all this stuff that you don't really consider that is part of your cost of goods sold. Because if you don't have a website, or you don't have a host, or you don't have a domain, you don't have it. So, and that's and what I love, the thing about that is like the monthly expenditures, the annual expenditures, those little monthly 1999s can really add up, if you don't pay attention to the little 1999s that you're adding on every month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It adds up really, really quickly, for sure.
Yeah. So what's your biggest takeaway? You say that you help people without spending money on marketing or advertising. How do they go about doing that? What would be a good way to apply what you teach?
Yeah, that's a loaded question, because there's a few strategies that can actually help them, right? So I think it truly depends on their vision, their goals, their mission, like what's their yearly income goal, and really looking at what kind of lifestyle they want to lead. It's really all about them and what their needs are and how I can help them the best way possible. Yeah. So yes, social media and digital marketing is one piece of the puzzle, right? But there's joint ventures, there's like alliances, like who can you talk to that you can send them referrals to, and they can send you referrals back, and like creating that network of people. Like that's a huge strategy that you could implement and get more revenue from. And there's so many of those strategies out there that I can talk about, but like it really depends on what your goals are.
Yeah, and I think for women too, we have many avenues now for
Yeah.
us to play together. And since, 60% of the women are leaving and starting their own businesses, it's growing. Our piece of the pie here is growing
Mhm.
huge. And as women, we want to give back. We want to help each
Mhm.
other, so I think the alliances and the JVs is a great strategy as well. For you women out there, think about what associations you
Yeah.
can join or that you want to be part of. Think about who you like to be around and find those groups because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, I think as women, we love to help each other. So we have it much easier than men as far as JVing and I help you, you help me. That's what it's all about. This is great.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Well,
love those. Those are the best.
yeah. Yeah. We're easier. I think we're so much easier because we tend to give
Mhm.
better, bigger, easier with less strings and from our
Mhm.
heart, that's what,
Yes.
that's
So
what,
true. That's so true. And I think also part of it is looking at other women as her sisters. Like, how can I help her win? Because I know if she wins, I win, instead of like looking at people as competitors all the time and like, no, I gotta be better, I gotta do better. Like, no, like it's so much better if we're in a community and collaborate with each other.
yeah, I think it's much easier to be a woman in business right now than a
Yeah.
man. I watch, what happens in the men's world, and it's
Mhm.
always like a competition. And for us,
Yeah.
it's really not. It's like if she wins,
Yeah.
then I win.
Mhm.
If we blow out this podcast that we're on today together, it's like a win-win-win for everybody. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. We're helping the readers, or we're helping
Yeah.
I always call them readers because I do transcripts. We're helping, and I'm an author. We're helping the viewers. We're helping the listeners and the readers. And then the more knowledge that you all have out there, the more we grow as an industry for women entrepreneurs. So yay. Okay, so I know that speaking of win-win, you have something that you're going to offer the audience. What is it that you're going to offer them that's going to help them kind of catapult into a better career?
Awesome. So the thing I have is my free podcast. I do have a show as well. It's called the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I publish 2 new episodes every week. One with me sharing my insights, my feedback on the industry, and then another episode with a guest that I bring on and I share their stories. And I just love, 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 love it. So if you are female entrepreneurs, you're looking to, generate more consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract clients, create a bigger impact, master your mindset, then check out the podcast. It's a really great way to learn and get that information. And if you want to take it a step further, you can always DM me and we can schedule a free business audit session where I look at your specific business and we chat and I tell you, okay, this needs improving, let's switch this, let's do this, all for free. It's a great session to have for sure.
Love it. Love it. So I'll put the links below the podcast so you can all just click the link and you'll be right there listening to the podcast and also checking out your free, that's a huge offer. I really appreciate that you give a free assessment.
Yeah.
That's big for everybody. Everybody needs a brush up and a tune up from time to time in their business to see where they fell off.
Yeah, exactly. We all have those seasons, right, in business. So
oh my gosh, there's so many moving pieces. It's like, oh yeah, I did kind of forget I was supposed to be doing that one. Yeah, that's a good thing. So yeah, grab Anna's free assessment for sure. You'd be silly if you don't. So check that out. Okay, is there anything that we should have talked about? Anything that I didn't ask you that I forgot or that you would like to pitch in and say?
that's such a great question.
I know it's an open one. I've been getting all the hard questions to you today.
Yeah. I guess like if I had to say one thing, it's like, do not quit. Like keep going. Like I said, it's not an overnight thing. Just find what works for you. Find what lights your soul on fire. How can you have more fun? How can you be more you and speak from your heart and speak your truth? Like we're so afraid of what people will think or what people will say, but who cares what they think or what they say? Like just do you, believe that there are people out there that need your help. And that's why we're doing this. So if you're uninspired, if you're on the verge of quitting, don't do it. I believe in you. Keep going, get into communities, listen to podcasts, hire a coach, do whatever you got to do to stay in the game. Because if you started this journey, it's meant for you. It is meant for you. So don't quit. Don't settle for mediocre. You are amazing. You are extraordinary. And I believe in you.
I love that. And I totally agree. If you're doing it because your soul told you to do it. So don't quit, don't give up. And you are your own unique expression. And someone out there is craving to hear what you have to ask them, have to tell them, and have to help them with. There's always someone craving you. Yeah. And that's the beauty of the world, right? That's what happened. Seriously. So great tips, Anna. I really appreciate your energy, your passion. Everybody make sure to download what you can do sign up for the free consult, and definitely check out the podcast. And I will see you on the other side. And thanks, Anna, so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Hey, thanks for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you want to hear more, feel free to subscribe on the platform of your choice. Also, if you feel so inclined, I would truly appreciate a good rating from you to me. Have a stellar day.